So let's just fly over the city. Is that amazing or what? Hey, everybody. It's been a little while since I've been in the realm. Thought I'd pop in and just relax. Yeah, just relax and enjoy myself a little bit. Look at that shadow coming across. What is that, a cloud? No, that's kind of a straight line. Can't hardly be a cloud. Now behind me, you can see a building that I've been working on. So I'm going to work on that a little bit in this video. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I also thought that I would take out some of these torches. I don't think I need all of them. Oops. Yeah. Let me see, what kind of strategy do I want here? I'll take that out. And I'll skip a row. And skip a row. It's already looking spookier. Hey, chicken. And let's see here. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe I need to place some torches. What's the spacing? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. is happening. Torch functional blocks. One, two, three. Yeah, there we go. Not nearly as many torches. Maybe we can get by with even less. It's a beautiful night here in Patronville. Look at the sails from the sailing ship in the background. That's in the harbor. It's a beautiful ship. Beautiful. Okay, that's nice. I don't think we need as many torches these days as we used to need. I think the upgrades, the version upgrades in Minecraft have made it harder for the mobs to spawn. Now, here's my swimming pool. And if you've never seen this building, let me just tell you that pool is deep. Very, very deep. It's very kind of spooky getting out of it. It's kind of creeping me out just to be standing next to it. Now I want to get up to the first floor. Right now we're on ground level. Maybe we can go up through this way. No. trying to remember how to duplicate a block. I don't quite remember. Do I hold shift and right click? Seemed like there was a way that you could just look at a block and duplicate it. But I can't remember how. That's what happens when you don't play often enough. You kind of forget some of the shortcuts. We're just gonna fly. I'm gonna pause long enough to look this up. Okay. It was pretty simple. You just put your pointer on the block that you want to copy and just hit the third mouse button. In my case, it is depressing the scroll wheel. Now, in real life, I took a vacation. Went to the beach. Hung out on one of Florida's nice white sandy beaches for a week. It's very, very relaxing. Had a great time. Played with my grandkids. And we built sand castles. Hunted, looked for seashells and flew kites. We played, in the evening we played games. How many of you remember the game Trouble? It had the big bubble in the middle of the board that had a dice in it. You press the bubble and whatever number it landed on is how many positions you could move. Yeah, they really like that game. Oh, I think, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Looks like I need just a blue block here. So let's get the blue block. Here we go. And the whole time we were gone, it only rained for just a little bit, which was amazing. I had rented some beach chairs, you know, chase lounges with an umbrella and the little tables that go next to each lounge. And one night, somebody came by and set them on fire. Now they were plastic, but they burned holes in the fabric. Because I went down to the water's edge early one morning to sit in them. And I couldn't because they were burned so badly. And later on, a couple of hours later, the beach chair guy, he leaves the chairs out, but he takes up the umbrella every evening. He came by to put the umbrella up, and I was not on the beach. I was on the deck watching him, and he pulled up in his little ATV and was about to put the umbrella up, and he noticed the chairs being burned up. He was pretty livid. So he walked over to where I was, and he apologized. And, I was sorry that someone burned up his property. He said he knows who did it. Apparently he has kind of like an ongoing war. I don't know if that's a good term or not. With what he called beach bums. He said they push their bicycles down the beach like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, looking for things to steal. And I have had things stolen off the deck in past vacations. So I do know that people do that. But he said he saw the bicycle tracks in the sand, so he knew right away who did it. He said the beach bums that do that call him the beach Jedi. So the beach bums don't like him. It's a shame there's people that feel a need to destroy property like that. The frame of the chair of the chairs. They were not damaged, just the fabric, what he called the covers. In his little beach hut, his little building, he has a whole stack of those covers, so he quickly replaced the covers. Or he might have brought new chairs, I'm not sure. I had gone inside during that time. But either way, when I went back out, the chairs were good to go. So I learned my lesson on past vacations not to leave things on the outside. My son-in-law lost a pretty expensive cooler. I had a Bluetooth tower speaker stolen. And there were some other things stolen before. So these days I make it a point not to leave anything out on the deck. And so someone, if someone comes up off the beach, there's nothing there for them to take. I took a Polaroid instant camera with me. The Polaroid film that they make these days is not as good as the film they used to make. Let's see, did I do something wrong here? Let's see what the other end looks like. I need to put a torch in my other hand. Yeah, that gives me a little bit more light. So yeah, gray and then glass and blue columns. Gray, glass, blue columns, so that's good. I did a lot of early morning beach walking, which isn't unusual. I usually do that. I get up pretty early. I'm used to getting up early, and I can go out and walk several thousand steps and be back off the beach before anyone else even gets up. I ran into a lady on the beach. She had a metal detector. Most of you probably know what I'm talking about. She was, looked like she was having a good time. And said she was 84 years old. She said the metal detecting was a great hobby, and it helped keep her going. And I believe her because the way she moved around on that sand, I mean, she walked around on the sand like she was 12, like she was a teenager. You know, a lot of 84-year-olds can't even get out on the sand. But by golly, she could. With a metal detector and one of those, what the metal detector people use, a scoop on a stick. Her metal detector gave her a reading that there was something in the sand. She could take that and scoop up a scoop of sand, and there were holes in it so the sand would fall out and leave behind the treasure that she was looking for. Glass. So I thought, what a wonderful life that must be to get up every morning and hit the beach or the parks, old homestead sites, and do some metal detecting. It seemed like a hobby that would really help keep a person in shape. And you might possibly find something of great value. One day, when my son and myself and my daughter-in-law set out and went into town, and there's a thrift store that we stopped at. And we walked around in there just looking around. We came back out and came across a lady that had just taken a fall in the parking lot. And she fell on her face because her face was all bloody. And it happened the seconds before we walked out of the thrift store. So she fell on her face and then rolled onto her back. She was got up pretty good by her fall. Blood was pooling in one of her eyes, and her nose and her forehead were just all, you can imagine. And she was 84 years old as well. She had been inside the thrift store, but she had walked out just, seconds before we did. Apparently, a gentleman she was with had dropped her off to look around while he drove on to the bank and did some banking. She saw him coming back from the bank, and she was in a hurry to get out there to the car, and that's when she stumbled and fell. So the store manager and the gentleman that was with the lady, he pulled up right then and got out of his car. But him and the store manager and my daughter-in-law tended to the lady. And I tried to call 911, and for some reason it wasn't going through on my phone. I went back into the store and got another store employee to call 911. And within a few minutes, a fire truck arrived, and a few minutes after that, an ambulance arrived. The lady did not appear to have any broken bones, thank goodness. So between someone burning up the beach chairs and the lady at the thrift store that fell, that was really the only excitement. Neither one of them was good excitement. Oops. What am I doing here? I think I need columns. Let's see what I did on the other corners. No, I don't guess so. I don't guess so. I'm going to be doing some iRacing sometime later on today. In iRacing, when you first start iRacing, you start as a rookie, a rookie. And as you progress as a driver, they start giving you licenses. So after rookie, you get what's called a D license, and then a C, and then a B, and then an A. And I just got my A license just a few weeks ago. I guess I could have had its A license much sooner than that, because I've been doing iRacing for, I think this is going into my third year. But I've been racing in a league. I've been doing what's called league racing. And when you race in a racing league, you don't earn the credits that you need to advance the license. The only way to advance the license is to race in non-league races that iRacing actually sponsors. They call those races official races. And iRacing is pretty interesting to me because, well, I've always enjoyed motorsports. Many years ago, I used to play basically the first iteration of iRacing. It wasn't called iRacing back then. It was just called NASCAR racing. I played it on a computer that ran DOS, disk operating system. Most of you watching this video have probably never even heard of DOS. But my son likes iRacing, and he's done iRacing for many years. So 2 or 3 years ago, as a way to talk to my son more often, because he lives in another state, I figured out that I could get into the iRacing and be on his racing team. And pretty much weekly, I would be having a grand old time with him because we talk while we race. We wear headsets that have microphones. It's a blast. I love it. We're kind of on a break right now. Our season ended about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's not going to start back up until after the holidays. What have I done here? I think I need to replace. Uh-oh. Need to grab that. Need to replace this row of glass with a blue block. Yeah, or do I? How many panes of glass? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So yeah, we need to do that. There we go. There we go. Oops. But like all video games, iRacing has really progressed. And iRacing isn't really considered a video game as much as it is a racing simulator. The physics involved are really quite accurate by what I'm told. And there's been people, probably not many, that have transitioned into racing real cars from iRacing. So over a course of time, I've been building my rig, RIG rig. That's what you call your iRacing setup. Your Because there's certain things you have to have, like a steering wheel and, a gas pedal, brake pedal type setup. And I threw that down again. Okay, let's continue on with the floor. So right now my rig consists of a table. It's like a classroom table. I purchased it used for pretty inexpensive price. And the legs on these types of tables are adjustable so that you can set the height of the table. That way, small children like kindergarten can use the tables, and upward as the kids get older and taller. So I have one of those tables, and I have 3 computer monitors on the table. I only use one of those for racing. Some people will use 3 monitors and have the racing simulator on all 3. It looks like one big car windshield when you do it like that. But my main monitor is a wide screen. It's curved, and it's what you call an ultra wide screen. And so that's sufficient for me. Some people use virtual reality headsets. My son was one of those. And he switched to triple monitors. And he says that seems to have affected his performance. He's not doing as well in the races as well as he used to do when he used virtual reality headset. His depth perception is not as good as it used to be using these monitors instead of VR headset. So he's going to be switching back to a VR headset. His rig is one of these contraptions that oops, I'm going to have to fix that. Let's see, ease down over that, copy a block. I didn't mean to do that. There. Yeah, his rig actually moves you around. He sits in a racing seat, and this thing will jostle you around. The chair I sit in is just an office chair that I've took the wheels off of, the casters. But he sits in a real racing seat. like that is kind of a little bit more than I want to spend. But he's all about the immersion, I think is the term. As much realism as possible. Because after all, iRacing is a simulator. And the racing is actually real, because you're racing against other people. And I really don't have a good way of making an ASMR video for that, because these races are pretty intense. It's literally white knuckle. You're gripping the steering wheel so tight, and your heart rate goes up when you're racing. You feel every little bump in the track. You feel it depending on what foot pedals and steering wheel you have. You feel it in your steering wheel. You feel the bumps of the track in your brake pedal, in your gas pedal. They make devices that you can bolt onto your seat and other parts of your rig. And those vibrate also. And you can feel the different things, like if you shift gears, for example, you can feel it as well as hear it, the clunk of the shifter. But yeah, there's just no effective way to create an ASMR video doing iRacing. Simply because it's pretty intense. And with a lot of racers, there's a lot of frustration sometimes. Especially if somebody makes a mistake and it ends up affecting you. It's very common for someone to make a mistake that can actually take you out of the race. In our racing league, just like real racing, we get points for how well we finish. And the goal is at the end of the season to have the most points. Some of you may be wondering if I'm any good at iRacing or not. Keep in mind that I'm racing people. The average age of the people that I race against is probably about 25 to 30 years old. And I hold my own pretty well. I'm kind of a mid-level racer. So if you have, what I mean by that, if we have, say, 40 people in our league, I'll end up finishing usually midway. I might finish in the top 20 if I'm lucky. At year's end, if you count up my points, there may be 20 people below me and 20 people above me. And a lot of times the ones that are below me are only below me because maybe they missed, missed some races. So they didn't get points for those. So I'm certainly not the fastest. But what I am, is a clean racer. I race very clean. I don't, some people race, they can be careless. They can take chances that they shouldn't take. And if things don't work out, it can cause other people to crash. So I feel for my age, I do pretty good racing all these young guys. And there are a handful that are probably close to my age. And there's really only one that I know of that is older than I am. I think the last time I checked, he was, I think he's like 75. None of you know how old I am, but I will tell you that it's not 75. And this is looking pretty good. And in iRacing, depending, we race a different type of race car, usually each season. Sometimes we race pickup trucks, and sometimes we race, there's so many different categories of cars. And of course, each car drives differently than, other classes of cars. Let's get some, wow, this video is about an hour now. This may be a good stopping point. Now you may be wondering exactly what I'm building here. This is my academy. It's a diving academy. There's going to be a diving board way up there. You can dive into the pool. But the pool is so deep, you can also do the other kind of diving where you put on diving scuba equipment or deep sea diving equipment and go down into the depths of the pool, which I mentioned is really, really, really deep. That pool is deeper than this building is tall. Maybe twice as deep or 3 times as deep. I'm not sure. It's deep. But the floors that you've been watching me install, these are going to be, this is also going to be an office building. There's glass walls all the way around this perimeter. And inside here will be desk and people working, that kind of thing. So it's going to be quite an interesting building. I've been working on it for some time. But as you can see, it's a large building. It is huge. There's the post office. This is the new section of town. And you can see my shadow right there in the corner of the building. See that? But yeah, this is the new section of town. The rest of the city is off in that direction, but we're too far away from it for you to actually see it. And the closer we get, you can start seeing other buildings coming into view. This used to be just a valley, a plain. It was uneven, and Izzy the Tiger, and there's a link to his channel in this video. But we had this vision for this city. And everything that you see has been built by supporters of mine, patrons of mine over on my Patreon channel. There's a link to that as well in this video. But these are folks that support me on Patreon at the Minecraft tier. And at that tier, they come in and become citizens of Patronville. They get lots to build on and positions in the city government and stuff like that. And there's something being built over here. This may be, it's being built by one of our newest citizens. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. But it's definitely under construction. Lava exhibit. Maybe there's a sign with a name on it. Because quite frankly, I can't remember who is building this. If you're watching this video and this is your masterpiece that is being constructed, uh, let us all know in the comments who's building this. If you want to. Or maybe we can see it right here. Okay, here it is. The player's name is Mr. Lion, which is a pretty cool name, Mr. Lion. And the address at this site is 3rd Avenue West. There's a lot number, Mr. Lion. You're going to want to add that to your sign here. I don't remember the lot number, but the lot number is your address. It's all part of your address also. So that's going to be pretty cool. Looking forward to that. As you can see, the moon is coming up, and over in the west, the sun is going down. You can see that the stars are coming out. This is usually a great time to do a flyover of the city. Down below is a lake. It looks different for some reason. It's not blue. Okay, the water's still there. And I'm under the water. And it's got all these cucumber lights or pickle lights, or I forget what they're called. Let's get out of the water. And the lake is lined with people's homes, residences. And I usually take tours through the residences and show everybody what has been built. And beyond the homes is the city, the downtown areas. And they're pretty spectacular. And once you get across town, you start getting back into homes, residences again. Now, Mr. Lion has probably built a residence. I don't remember exactly where he was going to be building. Floppy had started this, but he hasn't finished, and I don't remember if he is still a citizen or not. And we do have a post office. And I think if the sign is lit up, it means you've got mail at the post office. Be more kind. This person is a citizen, but for some reason, and they've been a citizen for quite some time, but they've never actually built anything. And I'm not sure why. Same thing for Lizard Lover 91. So eventually, if we run out of space and we need some space, we may have to reclaim some of these lots that have been abandoned. So let's just fly over the city. Is that amazing or what? There's the ball field. There's a hospital and a bank, and the tallest building in Patronville is my roller coaster. You can actually ride that, and it does give you thrills. It's pretty fun. Really enjoy that. Yeah, we have shopping malls, and we have a hockey team, and they have a place where they play hockey, and we have a horse racing track. We have churches. We have bars and clubs. And we have everything. We have a disco dance club, and down below us is a Zeppelin, like an airship inside of a hangar. And you can rent it for parties and stuff. It's not functional, it's just kind of in a hangar. If you want to see what I mean, we'll just drop down here real quick. We'll just walk in. Led Zeppelin Inc. There's the airship. It's huge. It's huge. The propellers on it. This is the entrance. This is the gondola, I think is what they call this. It's the part underneath the Zeppelin. This is where the pilot controls the Zeppelin. But you can go up inside the Zeppelin, and there's a lot of room up here. Boy, look at that. And you can tell by the sound of my voice how large this is in here. Go upstairs. Look at all the beds. The captain's quarters are this way. This is going to be a bathroom someday. Here's an escape exit. Just kind of push this button. You just kind of bounce to a stop here. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that. So this game, is it's relaxing. It's a lot of fun. I am thinking about trying what's it called? Stardew Valley. I'm thinking about that. I'm hesitant though because I'm afraid I don't have enough time to invest in it. anyway, we're going to end this video right here. And I'm happy that I was able to get some more work done on the diving academy. And this might make a good thumbnail right here. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Take care.